welcome back to the Love on Your Brain podcast. I'm your host, Lashmi Vizcaino. As you can see, you guys can finally see my face. If you can hear my dog walking and there's like a fan going on, please excuse that. Yeah, I'm just in my house, but I want to do something different today. See how it would be like recording an audio and video, so you can see my face. Again, excuse me for my looks as well. I'm not like super presentable, but if I was gonna be oh my god, if I was gonna be doing too much, I probably wouldn't have recorded this in the first place. So I'm like, let me just work with what I got. It's a test to see how this goes. I'm gonna look at the camera. I have to remember to look at you, not at me, but at you. But yeah. So how has everybody been? I hope you've been enjoying these past few episodes on Spotify or Apple Music or Apple Podcasts, Anchor as well. Yeah, I believe I'm on my this is my 8th episode. I have 7 other episodes that are all just audio. So if you haven't listened to those, go ahead and check them out. Look up Love on Your Brain podcast on Spotify, Apple Music. You can also look me up on my Instagram, LOYB Podcast. And my personal is Lashmi Vizcaino. Yeah, I'll probably put it down below so you guys can just, yeah. So today, if you guys had listened to my last episode, exposing myself, I mentioned how I went abroad for 1 semester in college. I went to Chile, South America, and it was such a wonderful experience, and I wanted to talk about it on the podcast. And I'm going to make this a 2-part series, a 2-episode series, because I have a lot to say. I tried to record this yesterday, and I was just talking a lot. I was literally talking. There was so many things I wanted to mention, so I was like, okay, let me better organize this. So today's gonna be like more of an intro, so like talk about where I went, why I went there, what I did, and kind of like how it changed my life. Because if you're reading the title, I'm gonna say how it changed my life, because it honestly like, if I'm being completely honest, like it really just changed the trajectory of my life. Like, I don't know, it's crazy. It was such a special time in my life, and I'm so excited to talk about it. I'm probably gonna insert some pictures and videos as well throughout the podcast, throughout this. So I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I enjoyed it. And I hope I'm able to kind of like bring out that experience through my stories and through me talking. So yeah, let's get started. Okay, so where did I go? I think I just said it already, but I'm gonna say it again. I went to Chile, which is in South America, and if you don't know, it's that country on the western coast, and it's like a little Chile. It's really long and skinny. I'll probably insert a picture, but yeah, it's super just like long and skinny, and I was like right in the middle of it in Santiago de Chile, the capital. I studied at Universidad Andrés Bello, and I met so many people. It was so fun. I went to school in the city, and I had to travel there by the train, so it was a good experience. Also, I'll mention this later. I'll talk about it more later, but I actually did also get to go to Peru. I went to Cusco, and then I got to go see Machu Picchu. It was like, I feel like I was like in a movie. Like, it was unreal. It was so cool. But yeah, that's where I went to Chile. That's where I stayed for 4 months. Guys, I was there for 4 months. Like, I was so, like, really quick. I was just super blessed to be able to even go there, because I actually went the fall of 2019, right before COVID hit. So like I was able to stay there for the whole semester, whereas people who like went abroad in the spring semester, they had to go home like a month later because of COVID. And I just remember like a lot of people like that were like surrounded like in my friend group or like mutuals were like, you should go in the spring, like come on, let's go to this in the spring because when all of us are going in the spring, we're gonna go abroad in the spring. And I was just like, no. I was just like, no, like no. And I'm really happy that the one time my self decided to go somewhere for myself during when I wanted to go, that it actually worked out so well for me. Like, oh my gosh. it was so cool. But yeah, a lot of people like ended up having to leave in this spring early because of COVID, and that was not the case for me. So yeah. And what else? Yeah, it was crazy. So I left in August. I left in August of 2019, like in the middle of August, because we started school like a week earlier, or like a few days earlier than like in the US. But it was cool. Like I was fine. I didn't mind it because like I was in another country, like, you know, and the classes were like, I was like so like, oh my gosh, like the classes are so scary, like I'm gonna fail, or like I don't want to fail. Like I was just being so hard on myself. But like looking back, bro, they weren't gonna fail us. And I honestly wish I knew that, because I probably would have been like, you know. But I'm also really happy that I took it serious, because like that just shows like who I am at my core. Like I'm a very like studious, like I'm gonna get this done on the deadline. I'm gonna do it as best as I can. So props to me. I just put some books under here, my notebooks, my journals, so that it's like more, I'm looking directly at you. My setup is a little bit ghetto, but you know what, we're gonna make it work, because if I don't do it now, I'm not gonna do it. Anyways, so yeah, I left in August, and I met up with, you know what, okay, I'm gonna save that for the story. So yeah, so I feel like a common question for people that don't know about abroad is like, okay, like what do you guys do when you're abroad? I mean, it's the same thing as like being in school anywhere else. Like you go to classes, how many classes you took. I think I remember I had like 18 or 19 credits. Like I did like a lot of credits, and I don't know why I did that to myself, but it wasn't honestly bad looking back. I'm like, ugh, light work, you know, like I can get all these things done. But yeah, I was in school 4 days a week. In Chile, they only had school, oh no, I think because we were foreign students, they only let us have school for like 4 days. So I had a 3-day weekend like the whole semester, which was so nice. Like I feel like in the US they should do that, just like regardless, because like school it's just a lot of stress on us. Like if you guys, like people who are from the US, you know how it's so like work is just like work. Like 2 days is not enough to like rest and like recuperate and like get things done that need to get done. So I was really grateful to have that experience. Like 3-day weekends, blessing. It was such a blessing. And you know, I got to obviously travel. I went to Peru. I went other parts of Chile. We went on field trips. We went to like get to know like the areas. We went to different like activities, because like during the time that I went, it was like a holiday, like Las Patrias, it was called, in like September. And really quick too, like the weather was like the opposite, since I was like on the other side of the equator. So when I got to Chile, it was actually winter, and it was like winter turning into spring, summer. And it was cold. I was not expecting it to be that cold. Like I was like, I'm gonna go to South America. Like, I'm gonna be in the warm weather, getting my tan on. Like, that happened eventually, but like initially, like the first month and a half, 2 months even, it was freezing. I was so cold, especially like in my host family, especially my host family's house. Shout out to my host family though, like they were the best, you know, Anita and Nati. They were so they made me feel at home, and they taught me a lot about like the country and like the history of the country. They always like would talk to me at the dinner table, and they took me to like different places like around like their city, like their borough, I guess. Like if you guys know New York or Boston, there's like different boroughs. So like Queens, Manhattan, whatever, like Brooklyn. Or like Boston is like Dorchester, Mattapan, Roxbury. It was like similar. So Santiago had like, I don't remember all of them, but I remember I was in La Reina. And so like they would take me around like La Reina and like things happening in that little city, and it was so cute, like, and so fun. So I was really grateful to have them. Like they made me feel so at home. Not a lot of the other students that were like in my program had like this the same experience, so I was just like, wow, like I was really lucky to have them. But what was I trying to say? Also, yeah, what did I do? Like I got to explore the city, different parts of Santiago, different parts of Chile, the food, you know, I got to try out. Like I'm a foodie. But the thing is that broke my heart about over there was that they weren't big on seasonings. They were not big on seasonings, guys. Like I grew up with Dominican family, and my mom be cooking. Like she'd be cooking. And so like they didn't have like the same type of like, I don't know, like it was, I guess it's just part of the culture. Like there's a lot of like European influence out there, so maybe that's why. Like no shade or anything, but that honestly could be a reason why. So like the seasonings that they would have would be like salt, pepper, ketchup, mustard, mayonnaise. And I was like, anyways, like no sazon, none of that. It was heartbreaking, but I made it work. And again, my host mother made it work. Like she like hosted so many students in the past from the US, so she was just like very like used to like making the food like accustomed to like what we were used to, but at the same time showing me the food that is like typical in Chile. So that was fun. I also made new friends. You know, I went with a group of like 20 other students from the US. I would say like 20 or something like that. We were like a smaller, not like too small, but like I feel like I remember like most people. But I'm also just like, that's just how I am. Like I remember people for the most part. But yeah, it was like a smaller group of people, like not too small. And then like each group, we were like, I like got to know most of them like very like briefly, like kind of like surface level through like activities or like field trips we went on. But the majority of the ones that I hung out with were like the people that were in my track. So they had like tracks based off of your proficiency in Spanish. It was like 1 to 4. I was in 4, which was like the most advanced. And I took classes with most of those people that were in track 4, or I would take some with people in track 3 as well. Again, depending on the classes I took and the proficiency of Spanish it required. I did also take a dance class, which was so fun. Like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize I loved dancing so much until I was in that class. And that class was like anyone could take it, obviously. But it was so fun. Like I really miss it. Like I honestly want to find a dance class out here of like salsa and like Hispanic dance, because it was so fun. It was so fun. Like, oh my gosh. It was so fun. Yeah. I also, you know, when you're in another country, it's like living in any other place, so I went out and partied as well, like, you know. And they had a lot of like special stuff for like students, for like the foreign students abroad. So, you know, I had to take advantage of it. Like, you only live once. You got to go out and do your thing. So, yeah, I went to like different clubs, different like party events, like outside. Like, there was like a pool party we went to. But again, it was freezing. So, like, no one was in the pool. Well, actually, I didn't go in the pool personally, but some people actually went in the pool. Me, though, no, it was too cold for that. And it was sad because it actually started getting really hot, like, towards, like, the last month. And I was only there for, like, 2 weeks. Like, 2-3 weeks when it was really, really warm, hot, nice. And I was crispy. Like, I got a nice, juicy tan, bro. Like, oh my gosh, I miss it so much. I miss it so much. Because right now it's like 40 degrees, it's freezing, it's wet, it's cold, like. But yeah, that was such a good time. And yeah, like, it was fun because like we like got to do everything like as a group together for the most part. Like, if you wanted to like meet other people and do like other things, you could. But like, it was cool because like we had like a community of like the people from the US that were abroad, people from other countries that came to study in Chile that were also like considered study abroad students because they were like from like Mexico, from like some like European countries like Germany. There was some people from, these 3 girls from like Norway, I believe. I think it was Norway. For like I said, from Mexico. I can't think of the other countries, like maybe Spain, I don't know. Brazil, a lot of people from Brazil. And we just all like would do like different things together and go parties together and have fun. There was one girl from Peru too. I remember her. She was so cute. And it was such a great time. Like, it was like cool too because it was like people that I never would have thought that I would like even be friends with or hang out with. But they were so fun. And like, just being around different people than what I was used to was just such a like breath of fresh air. It was so nice. It was so good. Oh my gosh. So good. And so why did I choose Chile? / why did I choose to study abroad? So let's start with why I chose to study abroad. When I was little, I always like, my mom always like encouraged me to like, you know, go to school, go to college, because, you know, she's from Dominican Republic and she came to the US to give me and my brothers a better life. You know, that's how like, that's just like what her thought process was. And so she would always like tell me like when I was little to like go abroad when you're in college, like it'll be really fun. You can study abroad, like just going to different countries and learning and still going to school. So honestly, like she was like the main reason why I studied abroad. And not just that, like that was like the reason probably why I went to college in the first place, like actually like stayed and stuck out in college, because there was so many times that I just wanted to leave, but then I knew I was not going to be able to study abroad. So I stuck it out for that. Shout out to my mom. And like I always, like there was honestly like a childhood dream of mine. Like I always wanted to like just, ever since she like kind of like told me, like I was just like, I want to go to abroad. I want to learn Spanish. Because if anyone doesn't know, like, yes, she's Dominican, my mom, but I didn't grow up learning Spanish that well. I learned it through school, like through, mostly through middle school, high school, and then I guess abroad too. So I really just wanted to like, well, in college, but I just really wanted to like prove to myself that I was able to learn Spanish, even though I didn't learn it growing up as well. And you know, I did that, period. So yeah, so it was like just a dream of mine, and I'm really like, I was honestly shocked that it happened. I don't know, like I knew it was gonna happen, but like when it actually did happen, and I was just like, wow, like I'm really abroad, like I imagined as a child. Like I just knew I wanted to go to a Hispanic country where they spoke Spanish. It was such a great experience, and I'm really, again, I'm so grateful that I was able to do that, because not everyone was able to do that. Like I said, the next semester COVID hit, so it's like I don't know, the stars were aligned for me because I was there and I was living my life. So let me go get some water. Okay. So yeah, it was just, I did it for Little Lash, I did that for her, and I'm so happy I did. Again, why I didn't listen to these other people telling me, go this time, go then, da-da-da-da. I did it for me. So, and how did studying abroad change my life? I didn't really write anything down for that question. But honestly, I lied. I definitely did write something down. Honestly, studying abroad for me, it changed my life because I was just able to like step out of like my comfort zone and like my little world in the US that I had like kind of created with like friends, with my family, and just with like familiar people around me. Whew, excuse me, sorry. I was just able to like step out of my comfort zone for like a long period of time, and it showed me that I'm like a lot stronger than I thought I was, and a lot more independent and confident in myself than I thought I was, especially when it comes to like making decisions for myself. And yeah, because like I don't know, there's like a lot of personal things that was like happening at the time, a lot of drama, people falling out, friendships, and all that stuff. And it was just like a testing time for me, like during the period of like working, like kind of like applying to it and like registering myself for the program. So like despite all of that, despite all the noise, despite all of the people trying to like distract me, I was still able to live my life and be the version of me that I always wanted to be, just going abroad and traveling the world. And I don't know, it was just such a beautiful experience. And I'm really grateful. So I'm like, yeah, I'm really, really grateful that I was able to have that experience and kind of just step out of like my normal life. And it just kind of like, again, it opened my eyes up to like a different side of like life, a different side of the world, a different side of like what I could experience, something that was possible for me. Whereas like back home, it just was like a lot of like people that were like limiting me and like people that were kind of like pushing me down. Damn, that kind of got deep, but honestly that's just the truth. It's just really what was happening. And so again, like going abroad like just kind of showed me like I am able to be independent. It showed me that certain people were not supposed to stay in my life for the long run, and that I can do, at the end of the day, that my life is my life and I can do what I want with my life. So, yeah. And that I could survive 4 months in a different country that is not fully English. And I'm just like that, okay? Hey guys, I forgot to film an outro for this episode, but I really hope you enjoyed it as much as I liked talking about it. This is a different space. It's actually like my little office area, which I'm going to use more for filming. I just gotta like decorate it. Maybe I'll even make a video about that like separately from the podcast. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode as much as I liked talking about it. Don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, don't forget to subscribe. That sounds like a YouTuber. Like, comment, subscribe. But yeah, don't forget to show me some love. If you want to have more updates on my podcast, go follow my Instagram, LOYB Podcast. Also, if you want to get to know me, you can follow my personal, which is Lashy Vizcaíno. And yeah, that's it. I'll see you guys next week.